terrorist Jasir Bilal Wani has filed an application in the NIA court in connection with the Red Fort blast case. Now here he has sought permission from the court to meet his lawyer at the NIA headquarters. The Patiala House NIA court will hear his application today. Now the NIA has described Jasir Bilal Wani as an active co-conspirator of terrorist Umar ul Nabi. According to the NIA, Jasir Wani is a resident of Anantnag, Kashmir. He was arrested on November 17th from Srinagar and he is accused of providing technical assistance to terrorists by modifying drones. So those are the charges he is facing now, and today of course NIA court will hear his application. That's the latest we know as far as the investigation goes into the Delhi blast case. The Patiala High Court NIA will in fact hear the terrorist Jasir Bilal Wani's application today. He sought permission from the court to meet with his lawyer at the headquarters. Now, NIA describes Jasir Bilal Wani as an active co-conspirator of the terrorist Umar ul Nabi. Remember, he is the suicide bomber, Dr. Umar, involved in the Red Fort blast case. Now, according to NIA, Jasir Wani is a resident of Anantnag and he provided technical assistance to terrorists by modifying drones. And now some major revelations are coming to light in the Delhi blast case investigation. Now it has been revealed that terrorist Muzammil has confessed to the investigative agencies that the plot to carry out explosions in Delhi and several other cities was in fact hatched in 2023 and he had been preparing explosives for the last 2 years. So you see, 2 years of planning went into such explosions in fact. Now as per agencies, Muzammil was responsible for purchasing ammonium nitrate and urea. In fact, he did purchase about 26 quintals of NPK fertilizer from Gurugram and Noon. This was purchased for rupees 3 lakh. He also confessed that Dr. Umar was responsible for converting this fertilizer into explosives. Now, Umar was also responsible for arranging chemicals, remotes and devices for the explosions. Remember, Dr. Umar is the suicide bomber involved in the attack that took place on 10th of November near Red Fort. Now the blast, we are given to understand, was self-funded. A total of rupees 26 lakh was in fact deposited in cash and it was then given to Dr. Umar according to the investigation. Now sources also revealed that there was a dispute between terrorists right before the Red Fort blast. Umar and Muzammil, they had a dispute over money. Muzammil here had put out 2 conditions, either return the money or they would keep all the goods. So the terror module chose the second option and had all the goods kept with Muzammil. The goods in fact were recovered at Muzammil's location right after his arrest took place on the 9th of November, just a day before the blast. Now Umar in fact had also created a group on Signal to resolve the dispute. Adil, Muzaffar and Irfan were also added to this group along with Muzammil, but the investigation reveals that the dispute could not be resolved before the blast. Now viewers, after the attack took place outside Delhi's Red Fort, Jammu and Kashmir police have now stepped up their vigilance. My colleague Mehraj Ahmed brings us a report right from Srinagar, where now shops are getting inspected under a new security plan. Take a look.
TV9 भारतवर्ष एक ऐसी पुलिस पार्टी का हिस्सा बना है जो कि विशेषकर श्रीनगर के एक कोने में जो है चेकिंग कर रही है कि किस तरीके से दुकानों में जो विशेषकर अगर हम कहें विशेषकर जो हार्डवेयर दुकान है किस तरीके से इसमें जो है कहीं ना कहीं ऐसे मटेरियल की प्रेजेंस हो सकती है जो कि इनफ्लेमेबल होगा नेचर में और उसके चलते कहा जा सकता है कि ऐसे यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से दुकानदारों से विशेषकर जो हार्डवेयर वाले हैं इनसे ये डाटा भी खंगाला जा रहा है कि किस तरीके से वो ऐसे मटेरियल को बेच सकते हैं और SOPs क्या है, किस तरीके से उसका पूरा पालन किया जा सकता है और किस तरीके से एक कस्टमर जो है यहाँ पे अपना पूरा डाटा जो है एक सिक्योर तरीके से जो है वो रख सकता है। और इसके चलते कहा जा सकता है कि एक प्रोसेस है जो कि पुलिस, जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस ने विशेषकर दिल्ली हमलों के बाद शुरू किया है। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो अभी हम कह सकते हैं कि दिल्ली ब्लास्ट में जिस तरीके से एमोनियम नाइट्रेट का इस्तेमाल देखा गया था, उसके बाद से जो है कहीं ना कहीं ये चीज़ें जो है कश्मीर से लिंक हुई। अब ज़्यादा जो कहा जा सकता है कि दबाव जो है, ज़िम्मेदारी जो है जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस की बहुत बढ़ रही है। और उसके चलते कहा जा सकता है हार्डवेयर दुकानें जहाँ पे इनफ्लेमेबल मटेरियल जो पेंट के साथ यूज़ किया जाता है वो बढ़ सकता है, उनका यूज़ बढ़ सकता है। तो किस तरीके से एक कस्टमर जो है वो मटेरियल लेता है। और उसके बाद कहा जा सकता है यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि जो पुलिस के आला अधिकारी भी है वो भी ग्राउंड पर जो है तरह तरह से जो है दुकानदारों की विशेषकर जो है डाटा प्रोक्योर करते हैं और ये चीज़ सुनिश्चित करते हैं कि कहीं जो है जो मिसक्रिएंट्स है या कहीं ना कहीं जो कह सकते हैं कि OGW नेटवर्क कहीं ऐसी चीज़ों को अपने पास प्रोक्योर मत करता हो जिसका वो आने वाले समय में कुछ गलत इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। तो ये एक स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर के तौर पे मनाया जा रहा है और एरिया डोमिनेशन जो कह सकते हैं उस ऑपरेशंस के तहत भी ऐसा काम किया जा रहा है। और निस्संदेह ये एक ऐसी कोशिश है जिससे पूरे जो मिलिटेंसी नेटवर्क है या मिलिटेंट नेटवर्क है उसको काबू में रखने और उस पर प्रहार के तरीके से जो है ये सब चीज़ें की जा रही है।
And now a major security breakthrough has been reported along the line of control. Now in the Handwara Naugam sector, security forces have busted a terror hideout deep inside the Niran forest area along the line of control. Acting on a specific intelligence, Handwara police as well as the Naugam brigade of the Indian Army, they launched a joint operation uncovering a major cache of weapons. The seized arsenal here included 2 M series assault rifles with the 4 magazines, 2 Chinese pistols with the 3 magazines, 2 hand grenades as well as multiple live rounds. Officials say that the recovery points to a large haul of weapons that may have been intended for a significant terror plot. So a great, in fact, win for the Indian security forces. At this point, a case has been registered and a further investigation is still underway. And now shifting focus, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Johannesburg, South Africa to attend the G20 summit. For Prime Minister Modi, it was a day packed with diplomacy, diaspora connect and big technology conversations. Prime Minister Modi first held talks with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, reviewing the 5 years of India-Australia strategic partnership with a focus on defence, nuclear energy, trade, education and cultural ties. On arrival, the Prime Minister was greeted with the folk performances from 11 Indian states, a cultural show titled Rhythms of a United India, which he described as a remarkable display of the country's diversity. Now, the highlight here was the rendition of the South African Girmitya song Ganga Maya, including a special Tamil version reflecting the enduring cultural ties that exist between India and its diaspora. Now, Prime Minister Modi warmly interacted with the members of the Indian community who expressed joy and excitement at meeting him. The Prime Minister also described the experience as moving, praising the diaspora for keeping India alive in their hearts through songs, prayers and cultural performances. In a social media post, Prime Minister also said that he looks forward to productive discussions at the summit with a focus on strengthening cooperation, advancing development priorities and ensuring a better future for all. He also emphasized India's vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which translates to one earth, one family, one future. Further, the Prime Minister also met Indian origin tech entrepreneurs during driving innovation, in fact, in several sectors, including fintech, healthcare, education, agricultural, as well as social media. He urged them to deepen their engagement with India and partner more closely with its fast evolving innovation ecosystem. In fact, he also held interactions with the community organizations. And all of this comes as the G20 summit gets underway, a historic edition set to take place, underway from November 21st to 23rd. This year's theme, Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability, is now carrying forward the momentum from New Delhi and Rio, aiming to shape a more inclusive global order.